Hello and welcome back once again to the Wrestling Rant. It is May 13th. Well, technically it's the 14th now. But again, it was Raw for the 13th of 2013. They were in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The show starts with a recap of what happened last week. The Shield coming out. Ryback and Kane had their match, and then the Shield came out. Ryback decided to bounce because he didn't want any of that. So Daniel Bryan came out to protect Kane. Cena came out, blah, blah, blah. They recap that. After that, we get another recap. This time it's of Brock when he went to the WWE headquarters. So they talked about that crap again. So we have that. After that, the show finally starts. We get the intro and everything. And Jerry Lawler is in the ring. And, of course, we have to start off with the dance contest that was built up between Fandango and Chris Jericho. Now, even though Summer disappeared the last week or two, she comes back to be Johnny's dancer this week. I don't know why, but whatever. So, she's back to be his dancer. They dance their way to the ring. And then Jericho comes out. And his dance partner, I'm not really sure about her full name, but it's something Slavinska. I think it was the same chick that he danced with on Dancing with the Stars. Apparently she's a real dancer, and she's been paired up with a bunch of the different celebrities on the show. And so, but anyways, they come out. And the ring actually has a hardwood floor in the ring to, for dancing. So they do that. And they're all in the ring. And Jerry's talking. And then Johnny starts to talk. And I think what it was is Jerry mentioned last week when Johnny lost the other dance competition to the Great Khali. And Johnny says, No. I did not lose to that clumsy buffoon. Yada yada. So he's going on and on. And then Jericho starts talking after that. And don't really remember much of what they said. But then Jerry says, alright, earlier on there was a coin toss to determine who would go first. And Johnny won the coin toss. So he's going to go first. So him and Summer, they take the floor. And they start dancing. And it doesn't last very long because, let's see, Johnny goes to spin Summer, and she missteps or whatever. She falls down. She's hurt her ankle, apparently. And so she's like, oh no, my ankle, whatever. And Johnny goes over to her and he's like, this ain't about you. Get up, all this other crap. He's, kind of acting like a dick towards her, but whatever. He basically jumps out of the ring because, he's pissed off that she fucked up the dance routine and everything. Jericho and his dancer chick actually go over to check on Summer to see that she's alright. Johnny jumps back in the ring, and Jericho turns around and eats a big boot from hell from Johnny. Johnny lays him out with this boot. He starts beating the hell out of Jericho. They end up on the outside of the ring. And Johnny keeps beating him up. And then Johnny goes over and he grabs a small section of the dance floor. It's like a puzzle piece the way they're fitted together. He just kind of yanks the corner piece off. And he picks it up and he just whacks Jericho in the face with this piece of the floor. So Jericho gets floored. Yeah. So after that, he leaves. Segment's over. Johnny gets back in the ring, and he goes over to Summer, who's still down in the corner. He puts his hand out to her. She grabs it. She jumps up. She's fine. The whole thing was a ruse. It was completely faked. So, yeah. They leave. Whatever. We move on. As they're cutting away to the first commercial break, they announce that later on in the show, there's going to be a 6-man elimination-style tag team match. Team Hell No and Cena versus The Shield. But it's an elimination match. We come back from commercial, and Mr. Jobber, Zack Ryder, is already in the ring. Ryback comes out. Obviously, this is a squash match. Ryback squashes him pretty quick, beats the hell out of him. Meat hook clothesline hits the shell shock. Match. Oh yeah, the only thing of note during this match is Ryder, instead of wearing his little trunks like he normally does, he's wearing long tights. And they have this little design on them, and they have his name printed on the ass and everything. Whatever. After that, we get another recap. This time, it's of Brock and Triple H's feud that shows when Brock broke Triple H's arm a while ago. Whatever. I think we cut back from that recap, and Tons of Funk are the tail end of their entrance. They're in the ring doing their little dancing, and then they do their little pose, and they get their pyro, and the Funkdactyls are there, of course. And I'm thinking, okay, well, they pretty much got a jobber entrance. Who are they losing to? And it turns out the primetime players are already standing there at ringside. So they're the ones that actually got jobber entranced. This is actually funny, because the match goes for a little bit, and I think it was Darren Young gets a surprise roll-up out of nowhere on, I think it Brodus, I'm not really sure. But he gets a roll-up on him, and he gets the win. And I'm not sure if I just wasn't paying attention, but I only saw and heard 2 counts. So the ref counts 1, 2, and then has the bell rung. Maybe I just missed the 3rd count, I don't know. But it seemed like a 2 count, but whatever. The primetime players win. Pfft. Whoop-de-shit. Both of these teams suck. Whatever. The next thing we have, Matt Striker is on the stage, and he introduces Teddy Long. And they say that Teddy Long has been given some sort of authority by Vicky Guerrero, the GM of Raw. So, whatever. But Teddy has an announcement about the world title match because, let's see, Raw, Ziggler got clocked by Jack Swagger with the ladder. Cracked him pretty hard with the ladder. As you might recall from that video, I said it looked like Dolph got legit knocked out. It really did. But, yeah, so he got nailed there. And then it was SmackDown last Friday, and Dolph got clocked again. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Oh, when Big E, or no, it wasn't Big E, when Del Rio slid the ladder into the ring, it was supposed to be a match between Swagger and Big E, I think. But the match never actually got started because Del Rio came out, and it wound up being a big fight. But anyways, Del Rio slides the ladder into the ring, And Ziggler runs over to pick it up and nail Swagger with it. As he's bending over to pick it up, Swagger runs up and kicks Dolph right in the face. And they get a replay of it. He legit kicked him in the fucking face. And this is like a soccer punt kick right in the face, and Ziggler goes down again. So apparently Ziggler has a concussion because of this. You know, you take 2 headshots like that, yeah, you're going to have a concussion. So, yeah. But anyways, Teddy comes out and he says, because of this, the world title triple threat match at Extreme Rules isn't going to happen. Because Ziggler's got a concussion, he can't compete. So the match is instead turned into Swagger versus Del Rio in an I Quit match for the #1 contendership to the world title. So it's now a one-on-one match, Swagger and Del Rio, I Quit rules, and it's for the #1 contendership status. Ziggler's not even there. He doesn't show up on the show at all tonight. But yeah, so they go over that. They actually get around to that. I forgot a bunch of bits here. Teddy's about to make an announcement. He says, I have an important announcement to make about the world title. And Swagger and Zeb Coulter come out. And Coulter starts talking. Ziggler shouldn't even be the champion. He only won that belt because of us. Whatever. AJ and Big E come out. And AJ's talking like, whatever. Swagger hurt him. Swagger shouldn't get a shot. Blah, blah. And then Teddy makes the announcement. Whatever. So they get through that. Up next, Kofi comes out. And then they cut to commercial. And I'm thinking, okay, who's he going against? Is his opponent going to get jobber entranced? Apparently not. We come back from commercial. And finally, out comes Damian Sandow. And he comes out and he cuts a promo on the way to the ring like he did last week. He says, you know, even though people want me to, I'm not going to sing again. Because Kofi's music sucks and I don't feel like singing to that crap. Essentially, that's what he's saying. Whatever. They get going in the match. It's actually a decent match. But Kofi wins. Trouble in Paradise, of course. Blah, whatever. After that, Josh Matthews is in the ring with Mark Henry. And Henry's talking, and you know, the strap match with Sheamus, blah, blah. And then he says he wants to demonstrate. They showed a recap of the whipping that he gave to Sheamus on SmackDown. Or was it Raw? I don't remember. But they showed a recap of that, and then they showed a recap of Henry pulling the semis from SmackDown. And then Henry says he wants to demonstrate the strap match thing. And he asks Matthews to do it. And so, I don't know why Matthews didn't run for his fucking life, but he really should have. Because Matthews puts the strap on his wrist like an idiot. And then Henry shoves him on his ass and drags him around the ring, hitting the 4 corner posts like you're supposed to in a strap match. But this is just so dumb. And after that, Henry calls out Sheamus. Sheamus comes out. And he's talking. And they're talking back and forth. And then Sheamus starts coming down to the ring. And he stops before he gets in. And he's telling Mark to back up, let me get into the ring, you know, whatever. Mark doesn't wanna. And then Sheamus says, you know what? Earlier today I came out to the ring and I hid a little present for you under the ring. So I'm going to get it out right now. Sheamus reaches under the ring. He's got a strap of his own. He's got the strap. He jumps in the ring. And Sheamus and him, they both start whipping the hell out of each other. But Henry runs off. Sheamus is standing tall in the ring. Blah, blah, blah. Not much to this segment. After that, we get a recap of Johnny beating the fuck out of Jericho earlier. Not like we really needed one. After that, I think they came back from a commercial break, and Cesaro's already in the ring. And so I'm like, oh great, are they going to bury him again already? They were kind of building him back up to be going against Kofi again, and I guess not. So Cesaro gets jobber entrance, and who's he going against? Randy Orton. Randy comes out, and they have their match. It's a decent match. Randy hits the RKO, and he wins. That's pretty much it. After that, we come back from another commercial, I believe, and 3MB is in the ring. Slater, Jinder Mahal, and Drew McIntyre. But it comes up the little name tag, and only Heath Slater's going to be wrestling. And I'm like, okay, who's he going against? The Miz comes out. We haven't seen The Miz in a couple of weeks. Apparently he's been out filming another movie. So out comes The Miz, and they have their match. It's a decent match, goes for a little while. The Miz ends up winning with the figure 4. I don't know why he won't just go back to using the skull-crushing finale, but whatever. After that, I know I'm just kind of glancing over the details here, but I'm trying to make this one a little bit quicker. After that, we finally get the Team Hell No and Cena versus Shield 6-man elimination match. This was actually a fairly decent match for the most part. The only thing that really sucked about it was the finish, and by virtue, the ending and who won. But whatever. The match starts and goes for a while. Kane is the legal participant, and he ends up on the outside of the ring, beating up all 3 members of the Shield. And he ends up smacking one of them into the announce desk, and then he pulls up the protective thing on the announce desk, and he smacks one of the Shield guys with it, and he ends up getting himself disqualified. So Kane's eliminated by DQ. So the match continues for a while. Daniel Bryan ends up in the ring with Ambrose, and I'm pretty sure Ambrose plants Bryan with that headlock driver, plants him on his head, and pins him. Bryan gets eliminated. So Kane and Bryan are gone. It's down to Cena versus the Shield. And of course, Cena can't just get his ass kicked and eliminated. No. Cena ends up giving the attitude adjustment to Seth Rollins, and he pins him. Rollins is eliminated. And then Reigns, the match continues for a little bit longer. Cena is about to give the attitude adjustment to Ambrose, and in the corner, Reigns is standing in the corner, and he's got the referee distracted, and so this whole time, Cena has Ambrose on his shoulders, ready to give him the attitude adjustment. Reigns throws the referee out of the way and goes over and runs through Cena with a spear. Just runs through Cena. And the referee disqualifies Reigns. So you've got that. So now it's down to just Ambrose and Cena. And it doesn't go much longer. Cena gets Ambrose in the STF, and before Ambrose can tap out, Rollins and Reigns come back and they jump Cena, and the 3 of them start beating the hell out of Cena. Obviously this is a DQ, so Ambrose would have been DQ'd. Cena would have been the winner. Cena and Team Hell No. After the 3 members of the Shield get done beating the fuck out of Cena, they leave. Oh wait, they pick Cena up and they give him the big triple power bomb. I'm going to call that the Fall of Justice. I think that sounds good. after that, they leave, and then out comes Ryback. And yeah, he kind of fakes him out. He gets in the ring and he just kind of stands over Cena and looks at him, and then he leaves like he doesn't want to do it. But then he comes back, grabs a chair, and he pins Cena's leg down, and he smacks Cena's leg with the chair. And this is supposed to be the hurt leg, the one with the Achilles tendon injury. So all he does is he hits his leg with a chair, and that's it. And he leaves. And that's the end of that. Earlier on in the show, I forgot to mention this, it was during the whole thing with Teddy Long. They announced that later on, Big E would be in action facing either Jack Swagger or Alberto Del Rio, and it would be up to the fans to decide. So Big E comes out with AJ, and then they bring up the fan poll thing, and sure enough, 65%, I believe, voted for Jack Swagger. So out comes Swagger. So Big E and Swagger start beating the hell out of each other. Big E is in control for most of the match. They end up on the outside of the ring, and Swagger throws Big E over the barricade and is just barely able to roll back in the ring to beat the count. And so Big E gets counted out. So Swagger wins by count out. And then out of nowhere, Del Rio comes out, starts beating on Swagger. Big E comes back, or no. Del Rio comes out, and he starts beating on Swagger. Swagger reverses it, gets Del Rio in the ankle lock, or the Patriot lock, whatever you want to call it. Ricardo comes out, and I'm like, isn't he supposed to still be injured? He's fine, apparently. He's got a bucket. He's been carrying around this bucket. It's got like ice or confetti or whatever with it. Don't really know. But that starts going. Swagger has Del Rio in the ankle lock. And Ricardo comes up with this bucket, and he hits Swagger in the back of the head with the bucket. Swagger drops Del Rio's leg, but he's just like, what the hell was that? Like, it didn't even faze him at all. He turns around, and he looks at Ricardo. Ricardo, tries to... I think he tried to blame Del Rio. Like, no, he did it. No. But I think Ricardo got leveled, and then Del Rio, I guess, got back up, decks Swagger. Big E comes back, and the three of them all start fighting. And I guess Big E and Swagger all wound up getting chased off because Del Rio's left triumphant in the ring. That's the end of that. I think we cut to another commercial. We come back, and the Bella Twins and Caitlyn are on commentary. And again, we're getting really crowded on commentary. So we've got 3 chicks, along with JBL, Michael Cole, and Jerry Lawler. All 6 of them on commentary. And already in the ring, we have Natalya and AJ. So, Natalya and AJ are going to have a match. They have a match. During the match, Caitlyn gets another gift from her secret admirer, and she opens it up, and it's this box of, like, trivia cards or something. In the ring, AJ gets knocked out of the ring, Natalya comes out. AJ's playing possum again, basically. She plays dead, just like she did to win the Battle Royal, where she won the #1 contendership for the Divas title. But yeah, that happens. Natalya picks her up and throws her back into the ring. And, Natalya went for like a sidewalk slam. She lifts her up for a sidewalk slam. AJ reverses and swings around and locks Natalya into this submission hold. And I don't know if this is the actual name of the submission hold, but it was in one of the video games a while back, and they called it the 6 Seconds Magic. So, yeah. So, she locks Natalya in the submission hold, and she ends up going down, and she taps out. Natalya taps out. And somewhere on commentary, one of the commentators mentioned Gary Busey. And the only reason I bring this up is just because I thought it was funny, and I'm thinking, you know, Gary Busey would be a lot more entertaining on commentary than any of the three schmucks we got working on it right now. You could put Matthews and Busey on there, and it would be hilarious. As opposed to telling Cole and Lawler and JBL to shut up every 5 seconds because they're just going on and on about shit that nobody cares about. Lawler's telling bad jokes. Cole and JBL are making references from the fucking 40s that nobody cares about. It's like, shut up. Let's get Busey on the thing. I'd rather listen to him ramble on incoherently. It'd be a lot more entertaining than this. Anyways, we cut backstage, and Jericho is backstage with Matthews, or maybe it's Matt Stryker, I'm not sure. Jericho's like, you know what? I was all fun and games with all this thing with Fandango, but now it's time to get serious. He's shown that he's not playing around, and no more jokes, no more name calling. I'm going to be serious now. And that's pretty much it. Back out in the arena, Triple H comes out. Of course, they've also been hyping up this all night. There's supposed to be a face-off between Triple H and Lesnar. So Triple H comes out, and while he's in the ring, he's doing his whole entrance like it's a match. And he's in, like, jeans and a t-shirt, and he's got his hands taped like he normally does, but he's got them taped with black tape. He does his whole entrance, he gets up on the turnbuckle, and he does his pose. And while he's up on the turnbuckle posing, the camera looks up, and you can see the steel cage. We've got a couple of glimpses of it throughout the night. But we look up, and the cage starts lowering. And the cage lowers. And then Triple H gets a mic, and he starts talking. And he's talking about, he basically says a lot of the same stuff he said last week about how this is his home, this is his other office, this is where I became a man, this is where I grew up, all this other crap, whatever. He calls out Lesnar. So out come Brock and Paul Heyman. And they stand on the stage. And Heyman starts talking. And Triple H tells him to shut up, I don't want to hear from you, I want Brock in the ring. But it doesn't matter because Heyman keeps talking. And they keep talking, and Heyman's talking about how there's certain words they're not supposed to use, and one of them is hate. They're not supposed to say that they hate each other. But it's quite obvious that Brock and Triple H do hate each other. And he's going on and on about, you're going to hate this, you're going to hate that, blah, blah, blah. And then he basically says that Brock doesn't fight for free. So there's no reason for Brock to fight. So Triple H starts talking. Brock and Heyman look like they're getting ready to leave. But Triple H is like, no, wait. You come back. And he starts talking more. And he says some stuff. And he's like, Brock, do you want people to think of you as the Beast? Or do you want to be known as Brock Lesnar the Bitch? And so, at that, Brock comes down. Heyman's trying to get him to stop, but Brock comes down to the ring. There's referees trying to stop him. Whatever. The cage doors open. Brock finally gets in the damn ring. And him and Triple H finally start fighting. And Triple H throws Brock into the cage wall a couple of times. And then he throws him one more time through the cage door. And Heyman is on the door basically, and Brock getting thrown through the door knocks Heyman down, and Lesnar falls out of the ring because of this. And they're like, is Brock going to get back in the ring? Is he going to keep fighting? He goes over to Heyman, picks Heyman up, and they leave. And that is pretty much the end of the show. So, yeah. Show ends, Triple H standing victorious in the middle of the ring, his music playing. Raw was not all that great. I've been noticing that as a pattern. Raw really has not been all that great ever since that first Raw after WrestleMania. That one was great. And it was made so by the fans. The fans really not all that active during this whole show. They were in Tulsa, so whatever. Not really much else to mention. So that was the end of Raw. We'll see how things continue on for SmackDown. I don't see them being any better. But that wraps it up for the Raw review. This episode of the Wrestling Rant. Please join us again next time. We will see you later.